Hey, what's up guys? E back with another action figure review. Today we are looking at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Avengers Endgame Iron Man Mark 85. So he comes as a regular release. Very cool. I am a big Iron Man fan, so I love anything Iron Man. I love that they do so many armors, and they do pretty much all of them. Still missing a few, hopefully they get to it. But here we're looking at the newest addition to the family, Mark 85. It looks like he skipped a few from the previous movie, but that's okay. So here you can see the back of the box displaying the figure, which we can see right here on the right side. Our boxes are standard Endgame white design. There's the seal of authenticity on the side, and then the front side is just Avengers Endgame. So the figure itself comes packed in just like this. As you see, he's got a pair of fists and well, only one head, so that's all you're gonna get. So the figure, as always with Iron Man figures and Tamashii Nations, they always excel with Iron Man, and I'm so grateful for that, seeing that, you know, I don't have to worry about them maybe botching this model or this mark, whatever armor that they do next. I always trust them making Iron Man because they do such a great job. So this is no different here. The paint job, the sculpt, and the whole entire build of the figure feels just as great as all of their previous releases. So that's good to know, because you know most of you guys already know what you're getting your hands into here, what you're getting into. So he does come with our standard Iron Man effects that we always get, which is okay. I mean, you can't really change it up. So here is the blasting effects that he comes with. These are the long versions. These go on the hands, of course, and then we have short versions that go on the hands. These could always be used for hovering when he's flying up. And then we get the long foot thrusters for the bottom of the foot. So these have pegs on them, unlike the other ones have holes. So these are clearly for the feet, since they do have peg holes there. And of course we get our fair share of Iron Man hands. We get our hands with the peg, so you can peg in those effects we just looked at. And then we get regular open hands here without a peg. So these are kind of relaxed too. If he was to stand up, and his hands are, you know, they're not as aggressive as they can be. And then we have relaxed open hands here, even more relaxed, straight posed. They're not bent. These can even be used for that final scene too, even though it doesn't have a certain thing, which I guess I shouldn't spoil, even though it's, you know, everyone's seen the movie. And then we have our pretty standard, these comes with all of the Iron Man figures too. The hands, or the fingers, are close together and it's open straight. So this is used more to karate chop maybe than, I'm kidding, this is to maybe fly and have the hands resting on his side. So those are all the accessories you get with Iron Man, which is cool. No alternate heads, which you really can't give an alternate head unless you want to give him a Tony Stark head, which is always nice to have, but you can't always get what you want, I guess. But we did get that with Mark IV, so we can always swap heads, and we will try to do that here and check out how it looks with a swapped head. We always like to play around with heads and swap things around, right? But looking at the figure itself, it's just beautiful to look at. This armor is just awesome. It's paying homage to the original classic Iron Man. I think that's an official thing, confirmed, that they were trying to pay homage to the comic classic one with the gold on the arms and the legs. So if you sort of look at it, sometimes you can kind of see it. So that's cool that they did that for the final movie of, you know, of this generation of Avengers, I guess, if you want to say it like that. But going on to the figure's articulation, the head's going to swivel left and right. It's going to move up about this high. And one thing I do notice now, which is cool, is that they're actually coloring the eyes. Before, they actually were not coloring the eyes for Iron Man. It's hard to see right now, but it is blue, just like the blue on his chest, which is nice, because before they were just making it silver and not coloring it. So an example would be this one right here. You can see the silver there, and the arc reactor is not lit up either. It's not blue or anything. So they actually started doing that now, which is pretty cool, and I like that, you know, can't complain there. So back to the articulation, you can tilt the head too. It's on a separate piece, so it's not like a combined thing, which they never really do that. It's more of a Mesco thing. So the neck will articulate too. The arms will go forward and back 360. And then now we got a nice armpit socket, shoulder socket, so that allows more movement to go forward here. A slight butterfly joint action. And then we get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. I heard it was confirmed that you can pop this off. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Somebody did that, I don't know, and they try to put the Mark 50 accessories on him. But I guess not for me, sorry. Double jointed elbows, swivel at the wrist with a hinge. And it's a ball joint, but it still hinges around, it still moves around pretty well, which is cool. And then we have our diaphragm joint, and it goes back and it goes forward. You can see it does expose the gap on the backside, but that does allow for more crunching forward, so you can easily hide that depending on how you shoot your shot. And then as always, we get a separate piece for the abdominal area, which rattles around, which is okay though. That allows for more movement without any hindering involved, which is always cool for an armored character. So it's the only way you could do it, I guess. So the legs are the drop down feature, which we're all accustomed to, and that kicks up very nicely too. And you can move it back down, and then now we get that little hinge in the thigh along with a swivel. Double jointed knees bend just fine. And then the ankles are going to go forward and back. There's a pivot, super stiff because it's die cast. And then there's the toe hinge on the foot, which is also super stiff. Something just looks a little odd about these ankles though. Maybe just the design of the figure, because you see how skinny it gets because of the little ball joint in there. You know, maybe they could have put something to cover that up, but it's not a big deal. Just something I noticed looking at it right now. But definitely something that you can overlook and not really dwell on it too much. But that is it for the articulation. You know, it's what Iron Man pretty much comes with. It's what you can expect with Iron Man figures with Bandai Tamashii. No different here. I think it's all well. I'm happy with it, and it looks beautiful too. I mean, I just can't stop admiring this armor. Very nice. And we'll get him standing up here so we can get some figures compared next to him. Some other Iron Man armors. I got several here next to me, and they're all mostly SH Figuarts. So in case you guys wanted to see how this looks next to some other Figuarts figures, let's see. Stand up well. Look at the camera. There you go. Kinda, sorta, yeah. Alright, so we have Mark 3 here, and we have Mark 6 SH Figuarts, and you can see how that compares. So we're pretty much looking at the comparison of the armor designs more here, because we all know that these are going to stack up about the same height. So you can see the design's very different, of course. Mark 3 coming from Iron Man 1, and then Mark 6 coming from, I believe, Iron Man 2. So I might get mixed up because this has been 10 years in the making of film, so I might get a little mixed up because Iron Man has a lot of armors. Even though I'm a big fan, I do lose track. Here is the Mark 5 on the right, which is the suitcase armor, and then this is, I believe, I'm gonna forget this one. Sorry, 40 something. I'm gonna say it's 40 something. All right, but there you go, and those look cool. So next up we have the Mark 7 and the Mark 4. So Mark 4 is from Iron Man 2, I know that, and then Mark 7 is from Avengers 1. So there you have it. Look at how Mark 4 is, like, his shoulders are much broader and just bigger. Very different, but I do like that one too. That is also the one that came with the donuts and the unmasked Tony head. Alright, so getting in some other Iron Mans from different lines, we have Revoltech, which I did review recently. This is freshly released, and this is going to stand. I'm going to put a missile through his crotch. No. Well, he fell. Here's the Figma Iron Man Mark 7, which was the first Mark 7 ever released, because I don't believe... Oh yeah, Hasbro did make one last year. They took forever. And then, of course, Figuarts also did take forever, too. Alright, he's standing. I know I shouldn't have put these missiles, but this is how he was displayed in my case. I didn't want to take it off, because they're kind of a pain to put back on. But he's gonna sit a little farther away there. So two different lines. I still like the Figma Mark 7. Definitely still a cool figure, and it's very different too compared to the Figuarts version. Uh, Depending on what you like, the colors are much more metallic and vibrant on the Figma. But there they are, and now that is it for Iron Man. Let's get some other random figures in here. We have a SH Figuarts Vegeta and a Mike Tyson from Storm Collectibles. Also just reviewed this one too, and he's a cool figure. So Storm Collectibles will obviously scales a lot bigger than SH Figuarts, so that's to be expected there, his height. And then Vegeta's a short dude, so of course he is standing down below. Here we have a Mezco 112 Collective Steve Rogers, and then we have the Captain America from, I think this may have been Age of Ultron. Hopefully I'm correct on that. But there's the Age of Ultron cap. This is not the Endgame cap. I do have him, but I should have opened him, but I did not. He's going to be the next review. So yeah, there they are next to them. So you can see that. So there's several lines there compared. And then last but not least, I'll save the big guy for last. We have the Avengers Endgame version of Armored Thanos. We'll get him onto this side. And he is pretty big, and that's nice. So hopefully, a lot of people did mention this, and I did realize this too while I was filming my review of Thanos, but I didn't really mention it too much. But he does have the gauntlet, and that is, of course, did I mention that? I don't remember. But that is, of course, because that's what they were given by Marvel, with him with the gauntlet, I guess, and that's what they had to make their product from. So unfortunately, there is no Armored Thanos without a gauntlet, and it even has one Marvel Legends. So hopefully, maybe I don't know if they'll even go as far as re-releasing this figure for a different hand. I doubt it. But I have seen several kits out there of people that made their own arm that you can attach to this Thanos, so that's quite interesting. But as for the size here and how he looks, there you go. And that's about it. So there's your height comparisons and side by sides. I try to do as much as I could there, but overall, sorry about that. The figure looks great. I love it. What more can you ask for in terms of Iron Man? And there's a quick look at him with the Tony Stark hat from the Mark IV Figuarts figure, which looks pretty good. I didn't really give it a good up close look, but there you can see it again. And yeah, that does it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you found it helpful, and leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Alright guys, I'll catch you later. Bye.